I used to joke that I married a refrigerator in a designer suit. The thing is, fridges don't kiss you when they think you're not awake. It had been 4 years, 3 months, and 16 days since I married Adrian Mercer. Not that I was counting, of course. Not like every damn day of this cold war of a marriage didn't feel like walking barefoot through snow, silent, polite, and numb. Adrian was never cruel. He was just absent emotionally, kind enough to warm the room with small talk, but never enough to thaw the ice around his own heart. We were the perfect picture of a high-functioning couple in Boston's elite circles. He, a well-respected corporate lawyer with the kind of cold charm that made juries listen. Me, a freelance illustrator who spent more time sketching strangers at cafes than drawing the man I shared a home with. Started as a convenience, a practical merger of lives, thanks to overlapping social circles and a mutual understanding. I needed stability. He needed someone to bring to dinners who wouldn't ask too many questions. And I didn't ask. Not when he came home late. Not when he turned away in bed. Not when he looked at me like I was a painting he'd grown tired of. Fonts beautiful, now just background noise. But the night I caught him kissing me in his sleep shattered every illusion I had boxed up so carefully. It was around 2 a.m. I'd been up working on a client commission, too wired on coffee to sleep. When I finally slipped into our room, careful not to wake him, I heard something soft, almost a whisper. Then came the warmth of lips pressed clumsily against mine. I froze. Adrian, stone-faced, unreachable Adrian was kissing me. In his sleep. His brows were drawn tight, as if even in dreams he was fighting something. But the kiss was real, gentle, ache-filled, like he had memorized the shape of me and was afraid to forget. And then he murmured my name. Eli. I stood there for a full minute, heart racing, before retreating to the guest room like a ghost. I didn't know what scared me more, that he'd done it, or that I wanted it to mean something. The next morning, he was back to his usual self, reading the Wall Street Journal over black coffee. His tie already perfectly knotted. "You're up early," he said, not looking at me. "So are you," I replied, watching for any flicker of recognition. Nothing. I didn't tell him. Not yet. But the memory haunted me like smoke after a fire. Every time he brushed past me in the hallway. Every time our hands accidentally touched. Every time I saw him asleep and wondered what he dreamed of. Was it me? I started testing it. Staying up later. Getting up earlier. Watching him. And he did it again. 3 nights later, another kiss. This time, his hand had reached for mine. Not grasping, just barely touching. Like the memory of warmth he wasn't allowed to have. I confronted him on the 5th night. We were in the kitchen, and I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted answers. Or closure. Or something to keep me from feeling like a ghost in my own marriage. "Adrian," I said, "do you ever dream about me?" He paused, spoon halfway to his mouth. "What kind of question is that?" "I mean it," I said. "You talk in your sleep sometimes." His eyes flicked up. "Do I say anything interesting?" "You kiss me." That stopped him. "For real this time?" "I kiss you. In your sleep. Twice now." My voice was low. "You say my name, too." He stared at me, as if I'd handed him a grenade he wasn't sure how to disarm. And then, softer than I'd ever heard him, he said, "I'm sorry." "For what?" "For being awake." It turned out Adrian hadn't planned to fall in love. Certainly not with me. He confessed it a week later on a bench by the Charles River. We sat in silence for what felt like hours, the water glittering like secrets in the sun. "I thought I could be what you needed," he said finally. "Reliable, supportive, distant enough not to hurt you." "You think distance doesn't hurt?" "I was scared," he admitted. "You got under my skin, Eli. From the first day." "Then why didn't you show it?" "Because loving you made me feel like I could break," he said. "And I've spent my whole life trying to be unbreakable." I couldn't hold back the tears then. I hated him for it. And I loved him so much it made my chest ache. We didn't fix everything overnight. There were months of unlearning habits, of quiet apologies and awkward attempts at intimacy. Adrian began holding my hand on walks, cooking with me on Sundays, leaving little notes when he left for work, things like, "Don't forget your umbrella," or, "You looked good in that sweater yesterday." Nothing romantic. Not yet, but real. The first time he kissed me while awake, I almost didn't believe it. He came home early. No reason. Just walked in, loosened his tie, and found me painting in the sunroom. "Hey," he said, voice soft. "Hey." He stepped forward, hesitated, then kissed me like it was the only thing that had ever made sense. It's been a year since that first sleep kiss. We still have cold days, but they're rarer now. The kind that make you appreciate the warmth when it comes. Adrian still struggles to say the words, but he shows them in how he looks at me like I'm sunrise, in how he reaches for my hand under the dinner table, in how he always kisses me goodnight, and I kiss him back, not just because he loves me in his sleep now, but because he's finally learning how to love me while he's awake. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.